Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live from the great city of Denver. It's time for the SFL quarterfinals to continue on from Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium in the Mile High City. The Cinderella story continues for the Houston Hyenas. They're the first ever 10-seed in SFL history to make it this far into the playoffs. But tonight, they face the number 1 seed, the juggernaut, that is the Denver Nightwings. Will the Houston Hyena hype train continue, or will Denver soar to the semifinals at a date with destiny? Let's find out next on the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. Good evening, I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Giorno, joined in the booth for this momentous occasion by Levant Mercer. Levant, it should be a fantastic game tonight.
Oh, definitely. And Houston's going to be coming to play with some heat and fire. They have been dominant in the past couple of games, and Denver better look out.
Don't go anywhere. Kickoff is next from Denver. The Houston Hyenas, as I already mentioned, are making all kinds of history. First number 10 seed to ever win an SFL playoff game and get to the quarterfinals. They're the first team with a losing record to ever win a playoff game. And the defense has just given up 7 points in the last 2 games. It should be a slugfest tonight. We are just about ready to go. Denver will receive the ball in the opening kickoff. As the kicker, Matthew Flynn, has the ball on the tee. He's got his hand in the air. The whistle blows, and it's game on from Denver in the SFL quarterfinals. First of a doubleheader for the second half of the quarterfinal action as the ball is taken out to the 34-yard line of Denver, and that's where they will start with the football. Their quarterback is Josh Miller. Running back Jared McChesney, Watt, receivers Giacomo Jones and Logan Keelan, Bryce Battle, tight end Avery Allen. First play from scrimmage, McChesney is blown up in the backfield and will lose 2 yards, and that is just part of the dominant defense that the Houston Hyenas have shown throughout the last 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's part of that front seven, that core group of guys right there, led by Chad Tackle and Mike Fats Johnson right there in the middle. That's going to be key to stopping McChesney today.
4-man front for Houston. Linebackers playing well back. Here's a play action, and over the middle it goes, and it's going to get 8 yards and down to the 3rd and 3 at the 42-yard line. Steve Aoki made the catch. Sets up a 3rd and manageable. Here is that dominating Houston defense. Scott Subtile, Chad Tackle, and Mike Johnson on the defensive line. Linebackers B.J. Lovelace and Rodney Panani. I'll get to the rest of the defense after this play. 3rd down and 3. Just a minute gone here in this quarterfinal game, and it's floated out to the far side and caught. First down and more for Avery Allen. He's eventually run out of bounds in Houston territory at the 41. The remainder of the Houston defense is their corners Aiden Davis and Everett Garrison, their safeties Anthony Wyo and Eddie Gage.
Take a look at that stat right there, averaging 44 points per game in the playoffs against this secondary. I don't see that happening, but, you know, they are capable of having these shootouts.
Another play action over the middle to Aoki again. That's 7 yards. That play's worked to perfection 2 times in a row. B.J. Lovelace made the stop. And you mentioned Denver being really good in the playoffs. This franchise is only 3 seasons old, Denver. And remember, they had a really rough start to life for their first season. They went 3-9. Then last season, 9-3, made the championship game. This season, 11-1 so far. They've got a penalty marker as Houston jumped the start. Here's McChesney on his second run. He'll gain just 1 yard, but it's going to be an automatic first down via the penalty. And in a big game like this, Levant, you cannot afford to have any mistakes like that because the way Houston's defense is playing, 1 score may decide this game.
Yeah, definitely. And They have been more disciplined group of late. They haven't had too many penalties, but this is a high pressure situation. Hard playoffs, and sometimes those that gets into the minds of players down there.
First down and 10 after the penalty. Miller, plenty of time, dumps it short, and it's almost intercepted. It was off the hands of the receiver and then almost into the hands of Chidole Azuole. But I think it came at him too fast, and he dropped the football. Almost a huge swing of momentum, but it ends up being only 2nd and 10.
I mean, you only have a fraction of moments to make a play on the ball like that, and that's why they're in the secondary. You hear this all the time. Grabs most of the time.
Miller, another play action over the middle. That's tipped in the air and incomplete, brings up a 3rd and 10. This time the play action jump over the middle to Aoki didn't work. And let's see if the Houston defense can pin its ears back and get a stop here.
One thing they do like to do on third and long situations, send a house. We might be pressure here. We'll see how they line up.
Again, only a 4-man front, linebacker staying well back of the line. 4 receivers set, no running backs for Denver. 3 to the far side, 1 to the near side left. Movement to the pocket for Miller down the middle, and it's caught. Beautiful catch by Avery Allen. He's second of the drive, and it's another first down inside the SFL presented by APM Music Red Zone for the first time in the game. And Allen is a big threat over the middle at 6'6", 240.
Yeah, not only that, but he had to step on the linebacker there. The linebacker was there a bit on a bit in the soft zone there. He's trying to beat a robber, but he just didn't step up, didn't get his hands up and make the play and let the tight end through.
Again, they're going to go with this 4 wide receiver set, but flap the numbers. Go into the one-on-one matchup on the far side. That pass is caught for 5 yards. And it is Logan Keel makes his first catch of the afternoon. The last time Denver lost was in week 2 of the SFL season. They lost to the Alaska Storm. Since then, 8 straight victories to get them to 11-1. And have just been blowing every team out of the water this season. Here is Miller. Plenty of time. Throws incomplete. Jump in the route was Everett Garrison. And it's incomplete, 3rd and 5. Everett Garrison has 3 interceptions on the year. He was looking for a 4th. And you want to know how good this Hyenas defense is? They're the best team in the SFL when it comes to stopping their opponents on 3rd down.
And stops what they're going to really need here. And as you see here, they like coverage. They're going a little soft here, but they tend to like to cover with some bump and run coverage and try to keep these receivers in place.
3rd and 5. Miller again, plenty of time, and it's almost intercepted. B.J. Lovelace knocked it away from Keel. And they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt here on the opening drive. Good red zone defense for Houston.
Yeah, that right there is what I said. They pressed them a bit on the line, and they stuck to their man. They're really good at man-to-man coverage like that, and it just didn't give their receivers any room to breathe.
The kicker for Denver is Kramer Jackman. He is 59 of 59 in career field goals, has not missed. And he cleans 60 for 60 with this hit from about 27 yards. The kick is away, and it is right down Main Street. Give it from 28, 60 for 60 on the career for McChesney. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, here's how it works. Teams' real coaches break down film and build a game plan that will be used against their opponents each week. And the users are the players on the field that can improve their player each week. They get stats tracked on our website, simulationfl.net. They can customize their look, and what animations they have. It's a very, very in-depth league. There are plenty of opportunities for you here. If you want to find out more about the Simulation Football League, head over to simulationfl.net and join our Discord server where you can get involved in the SFL. Touchback on the kickoff by Giesland. He's one of the wide receivers for Houston. We'll meet their offense momentarily. As Denver sets up at their own 20-yard line to defend Kentez Johnson, and the rest of the Houston offense. Johnson under center with 4 receivers to aim at. He's going to go over the middle, down the slot, complete, and gone. For a first down up to the 36-yard line.
And DR Sim is the consummate professional right here. He's been with this team for as long as I can remember, and he's a crafty veteran. Just look at him run that route there. It gets the step in front of the receiver, and Kentez knows that's all he needs to be open.
Here's the rundown of the Houston offense. Quarterback Kentez Johnson, wide receivers Leroy Brown, Toby Giesland, and DR Sim. Running back Warren Murray, tight end is Dante Woodson. Back to pass, over the middle, into double coverage, and it's hauled in for an 11-yard first down. Big pickup there by the number 33 is Jamie Olawale. He's the fullback over the middle making a catch.
I mean, that's just your safety valve sometimes. You got to trust your receiver sometimes, and sometimes that has to be the fullback. Every member of this office has a job to do.
Here is Warren Murray. He's going to be bottled up and stopped for no gain. It's going to be really important for getting the Houston offense working for Warren Murray to get going. And this team was down and out. They were 2-7. They had to win 3 straight games against extremely tough opponents to get to the playoffs, to even have a chance of getting into the playoffs. But the dominoes fell their way, and here they are in the quarterfinals representing the city of Houston. Murray again on the carry, and he will only get 1 yard, sets up a 3rd and 9. The teams they beat were Chicago, Mexico City, and Alaska. 2 of those teams have won championships, that being Mexico City and Alaska, and Chicago is a perennial contender. Now, 3rd down and 9, 4 wide, over the middle, caught. Can he get the first down? Oh, just shy is DR Sim. Couldn't get through the traffic in the secondary, and we'll see what Houston decides to do here on their first drive of the game.
Yeah, they just had a little bit of a tough break there with the yardage. Just couldn't you needed to just stretch out and get that extra yard and didn't do it there. Looks like they're going for it here.
They are lined up to go for it, but let's see if they actually go for it or just try and draw Denver defense on time. They're going to go for it. Murray! He got there! Barely got to the 43-yard line. Mike Sawchuk put the hurt on him, but he did get enough for the first down. Let's take a look at the Denver defense while we have a chance. On the defensive line, it's Nick Miller and Bailey Baca. Linebackers, Mike Sawchuk and Adam Wiseman. Corners, Justin Jones, Lee Adama, and B.J. Armstrong. Safeties, Josh Vasquez and Nicholas Warner. Oh, no, he didn't get there. It's Denver on the ball. And McChesney breaking 2 tackles and getting a first down into Houston territory. I was completely bamboozled by the placement of the ball. I thought that Houston had a first down. Denver takes over and immediately drives into Houston territory.
That right there is just the type of wrecking ball that McChesney really is, and been the catalyst of this offense since about a couple of seasons ago, and he's really been taking Denver on this momentous ride.
2 broken tackles. McChesney has so much dangerous speed and space. A handoff, and McChesney that time is bottled up and taken down in the backfield. Mike Fats Johnson claims credit for that tackle. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's going to be the battle all day, is the battle between the trenches there, between that defensive line and this offensive line of Denver's. They've been a little leaky of late. Josh Miller's taken 24 sacks this season, and that's way past his average.
Looks like Houston showing blitz pressure, but they only send 4. Another play action, throw to the near side, caught and dragging the feet in bounds for an 8-yard pickup is Giacomo Jones. He makes his first catch of the game. It's been a good season for Jones. He passed 4,000 career receiving yards and 30 career touchdowns in this campaign. Now 3rd down and 2. You've got so many options here if you're Denver. Short pass, long pass. Run it with McChesney. Pass it to McChesney. There's so many ways you could look. They're going to throw to the near side. Caught by Jones. First down to the Houston 33.
Now, I like this safe approach that they're taking to the game so far. Has the ability to get there in the backfield. They have such a strong secondary. And on third down, we saw the stat before that they've only allowed 39% of them to be complete. So Denver's going to take this more methodical approach to try to break them down.
Already with a 3-0 lead, only 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It's been a fast-acting first quarter here, and it's almost intercepted again as that pass was knocked away by Everett Garrison over the middle.
That's what I'm talking about there. They're so quick to the ball. If ball is just thrown just with any chance at it, like just with any loft to the ball that's not thrown directly to the receiver, doesn't get there in time, they're going to swarm right on it. Denver's really got to be careful with their ball placement.
This Houston team has 20 combined interceptions on the season. The handoff goes to McChesney. He breaks a tackle, but he's ended up going the wrong way, and he only ends up losing a yard because of forward progress, but he was actually tackled about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage by Mike Johnson.
Yeah, that's the type of penetration that they've been getting through this line so far in this game. They've just been able to just generate a lot of pressure here.
Another play action over the middle, caught in space, but can't get to the first down marker. Bryce battled with the catch, but he couldn't get there. 4th down and 3. As you see the updated numbers on Kramer Jackson, I did mention he was 60 for 60. I had it a bit wrong. He's 62 for 62 career field goals. He's the only contracted kicker to never miss a field goal. He's 5th all time in field goals made is Jackman. He's going to go for this one from about 42, 43 yards. The kick is a little bit bobbled by the holder. It's all the way, and it's good from 42. Denver takes a 6-point lead, and we will head into our first break of the afternoon. Denver 6, Houston nothing. The Hyenas try to pull the upset. This is the SFL quarterfinals. We'll be back after the break, right here on 11 Sports. Back in Denver, Colorado at Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium, the SFL Season 13 quarterfinals continue between the Denver Nightwings and the Houston Hyenas. The Houston Hyenas, the 10 seed, won in the wild card game against Chicago 13-7. Earlier this season in Week 6, Denver put a hurting on Houston. 5 touchdowns from Josh Miller. The Nightwings led big early. The loss dropped Houston to 1-4. We did know that Houston recovered to eventually make the playoffs. I formation 1st and 10. Handoff Murray. He's met immediately and falls forward for no gain. Big push up front there by the Denver defense. It was led by Bailey Baca, the defensive tackle.
Now and one of the key things to note in that game, this was brought to us before the broadcast, was that Murray was out for most of that game, and we'll see how much him actually being able to play in this game will affect the outcome.
Johnson had to get the ball out fast, and it's incomplete, intended for Giesland. The ball was knocked away by Duke. That's Raul Duke, the strong safety. And again, Bailey Baca, pressure all in the face of Kentez Johnson, and he's going to have to deal with Baca and Miller off the edge all night long.
Yeah, but not only that, if you're Giesland, you have to come down with that. I mean, I understand the pass was behind, but you had 2 chances at the ball there.
3rd down and 10. Again, 4 wide, the setup plus the tight end, Dante Woodson. Johnson, plenty of time to throw over the middle into traffic, and it's incomplete. He was trying to hit DR Sim again, but there were about 3 black jerseys in the area to knock the ball away, and it's a 3-and-out for the Hyenas.
Yeah, not only that, but it looked like the receivers got tied up on the crossing pattern there, and when you're not communicating properly, you're not looking for the ball there, you're not ready. Sim turned around by the time that ball was already on the ground.
Punter Brian Adams on for the first time today for Houston. He punts it away from just inside his own 15-yard line. That'll be good field position for the Nightwings at their own 48. And we will be right back to action after the break. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on the 11 Sports Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Denver, Colorado. The hometown Nightwings have a 6-point lead and the ball here in the third of 4 quarterfinal matches in the Simulation Football League's 13th season. A pass out to McChesney. He's going to be run down after a gain of only 2. He'll stop right at midfield, and he is one of the few backs in the SFL that is very comfortable both running and receiving the football.
Yeah, you just saw a little bit of it earlier in this game when he just took 2 defenders with him, got the down that way, and that time you saw him make a great reception. He only picked up 2, but he's always able to make those plays.
And it's a nice outlet for the Nightwings as well. Here's another play-action pass. That pass is incomplete. It was into the hands of Jones, but he was out of bounds. And that's the problem you face when you run all of those corner routes.
Yeah, those require pinpoint timing right there. You need a certain type of position, and he got a little slow with that play action there. Play took too long to develop and wasn't able to get it out of his hands fast enough.
5 wide on 3rd and 8. Miller in the gun. Low snap corralled, moves in the pocket, throws incomplete. It was knocked away by Anthony Wyo. And a good stand by the Houston defense means they'll get the ball back before the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job so far of at least mitigating any damage that Denver's been able to attempt to, hit them with. And not only that, but every time they try to pass, they make sure that all the passing lanes are clogged.
Here is Lily Long, the punter, trying to pin Houston deep in their own zone. Punt is away from past the 35-yard line. It's going to float high in the air, drop at the 10, and it might get it down to the 3-yard line. Beautiful punt, special teams by Denver. And they will pin Houston all the way in the shadow of their own end zone with less than a minute to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's usually Houston that ends up trying to win the battle of field position, but right now they look hard pressed here on their 3. They're going to need Murray to get him out of there.
You see the postseason schedule for the rest of the SFL playoffs. Here's Murray, finally breaks a tackle, gets 4. Just trying to get them a little bit of breathing space there as he's very slow to get up. Remember, he was injured in the first meeting between these two teams and was out for most of the game. Eventually returned late in the fourth quarter, but by then it was too late. Johnson floats it out to Murray with a little bit of running room, makes a great spin move, and almost gets up to a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 13-yard line, and I don't think that Houston will attempt to run another play before the end of the first quarter as it ticks down under 5 seconds. And that'll be the end of the first quarter of action here from Denver. The Nightwings 6, The Hyenas nothing, but they've got the ball when we come back to Denver. This is the SFL Quarterfinals on the 11th Sports Network. Stay with us. Tonight's Simulation Football League quarterfinal on the 11th Sports Network is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library and Custom Music House, and brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by Media Tech Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots throughout the season provided to you by Airviews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com, that's AIRVUZ.com, to see more drone footage. 3rd down and 1 inside the 15-yard line for Houston. They're going to hand it off to Murray, who scampers away for a first down and breaks a tackle past the 20. Michael Chirillo, Levant Mercer in the booth. Jimmy Galvez is on stats, and Kevin Irvine is in the production truck punching the buttons and bringing us to you on this Wednesday evening, and a great run by Murray to open up the second quarter.
Yeah, and Warren Murray just goes and gets the first down and wants to be included in that too.
And that's the best run of the evening so far by Murray, who had been mostly stifled by this Denver front line so far. Maybe that's the key, is getting him outside and giving him a little bit of space. 1st and 10. Johnson going deep, and it almost was in the clear for Leroy Brown because the defender bit on the route.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes when you play the ball. You see him, and instead of sticking to your man there, that almost was extremely catastrophic. I understand what he dude's trying to make a play for his team, but if you leave a receiver on an island like that, next time he's going to come up with the ball.
Yeah, Leroy Brown has the speed that if he has that ball, it's gone to the house. Here is Murray in space off the pitch, and he makes 2 men miss. What a run by Murray! 13 yards and a first down.
Yeah, he's the driving catalyst of this team, and he's probably the captain of this offense. You just see why right there. He stretches plays, makes defenders look silly.
9 touchdowns through the air, on the ground for Murray this season, and 3 through the air, and 1,300 rushing yards as well for Murray in season 13. This is the most efficient drive by the Hyenas so far. They're all the way out to their own 34. This drive started at their own 3. Here's another pass underneath to Murray. This time he's wrapped up and dropped by Adam Wiseman after a gain of only 2. Here's the upcoming playoff bracket. The winner of this game will face the Tallahassee Pride, who had a upset over Mexico City last night. The other half of the bracket, Atlanta and Baltimore, play tonight on the 11 Sports Network, and the winner of that will play Seattle, who used a walk-off touchdown to beat the 3-time back-to-back champion Atlanta Storm to knock them out of the playoffs. Here's Murray again on a third straight pitch. He looks a little bit gassed out there, does Warren Murray. Only picks up 2 more. It'll be 3rd and 5.
You know, I like the fact that they put Salchuk out there on the flat that time. Houston likes to go to the swing check here, and they make sure that side, and at that time they wrapped up the ball carrier.
And Sawchuk's out there again, potentially, as a linebacker. It's going to be Murray up the middle on 3rd and 5. He fumbled the football, and Denver has it! Oh, it's calamitous turn of events for Houston as Denver takes over in Hyena territory.
Well, just look at it right here. Let's see. Right here, he gets the ball, gets the handoff. He does his spin move, and that ball exposed right there. You know, that's why I don't like the spin move every time, because, you know, sometimes that ball gets exposed, and it's so easy to rip out of. And that's what Denver did right there. And now they're in great field position here.
Bailey Baca forced the fumble, and Bandit Bandito grabbed the football, and now Denver has a real chance to turn the screws here early in this ballgame. Only 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Denver over the middle, pass complete to the most efficient receiver so far today. Avery Allen will get 6 yards.
Yeah, they've been getting balls over to Allen here and there. They've been trying to get him involved in this offense. This is offense, but against Houston and their secondary, you know, that's going to be particularly difficult. So I do understand the approach to try to be a little more conservative early on.
Miller, another play action. This time he's going deep down the field, and wide open for the touchdown is Logan Keel, and Denver takes a 2-score lead.
You know, they just caused the defense to be in a bit of a lull there, as we were expressing earlier, with the way that they've been covering. This time they cover short, and that's just way enough space for Keel to get in for the touchdown. Easy as flying. Is probably at least 6 to 12 yards in front of the safety there. With no one over the top, that's just too easy for Keel.
And you feel that Denver has been setting up that play from the very beginning. They've done over and over and over again. Play action, short pass, play action, short pass, play action, short pass, and the defense is expecting it. The safeties bite, and gone is Logan Keel over the top of the defense for the Denver touchdown. It's 13-0 Night Wings.
That's just part of the style that Jeremy Vega likes to employ when he coaches the team. He just loves to try to catch those defenses off guard. He was part of the Vancouver Legion team that actually made the playoffs several seasons ago, and he was the OC back then too. So you see his influences every time that offense steps out on the field.
Houston returns up to the 24-yard line, and now maybe a little bit of the panic button being pressed by the road team here. As you see the fantastic numbers for Denver, 13-2 in the last 15 games. The only losses against Alaska, and guess who's not in the playoffs anymore? Alaska's out. They lost last night, so Denver now probably the clear favorite to claim the season 13 title. Kentez Johnson to the near side, incomplete, intended for DR Sim.
Yeah, that time he just let his receiver a little side, went through the outside route, outside shoulder there, and just out of bounds.
Yeah, and you said Vancouver was in the playoffs. Someone in the chat wanted to know when they were in the playoffs. The last time they were in the playoffs is season 9, but all the way to the semifinals, and were felled by the Mexico City Aztecs, who went on to win the championship that year. 2nd and 10 for Johnson and company. Here's a handoff to Warren Murray, and the offensive line went out to lunch, and the run blitz gets home and drops him for a loss of 2.
Yeah, that's really something that they really want to be playing early and often. They need to get that back, stop Murray, and they need to force Kentez Johnson to make more throws.
He's going to have to throw it now on 3rd and 12. Defense for Denver could really pin its ears back and force something big here. Johnson, pressure in his face, goes down the field. It's tipped and incomplete. It was off the back of the head of the defender, Nicholas Warner, the safety, and it eventually hit the turf, and it's Houston going to have to punt it away again.
You really got to give it up to Baco right there as well. Right there, just only 3 men up in the front there. Baca gets through, gets pressure in his face for throw on his back foot, and it was almost catastrophic for Houston there. They're lucky to get away with just punting.
Again, a deep punt. This one from the 10-yard line from Brian Adams. Great punt to the 40-yard line, and Denver will be down at the 41 as Bryce Battle takes it that far. We will take a break and be right back. Denver up 13-0 and has the ball to potentially make it more. Don't go anywhere. This is the Simulation Football League quarterfinals on the 11th Sports Network. Welcome back to Richard L. Soto Memorial Stadium. Michael Trevello, Levant Mercer in the broadcast booth for you this evening. The SFL quarterfinals rolling on. That's called a fumble. I don't think that's going to stand, but if it does, Houston has a major turnover. Anthony Weil comes up with the football.
Yeah, we see this almost once a week every time. Pressure breaks down in the pocket here. I don't think that's enough steps to call that a possession, and I think this will be ruled incomplete. We'll see.
Well, let's see if they challenge it. There's Jeremy Vega throwing the red flag, and we will challenge it. I'm with you, Levant. It immediately, real speed didn't look like he had possession. Maybe the replay will show us different. Let's take a look. And it's another play action over the middle. Yeah, he definitely did not have possession, did Aoki.
No, you're going to need 3 steps for that, and I only saw probably half of one. He got hit as he caught it.
And Jeremy Vega wins the challenge. The Denver Nightwings will keep possession of the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 10. But Houston, you feel, to get back in this game, is going to have to force a turnover, an interception, a fumble. Something's going to have to go their way, or the pendulum's just going to swing farther in the favor of the home team here. Offset eye, 2nd and 10. Strong side handoff to McChesney. One man to beat, and he blows right through him and breaks a 2nd tackle to the 40. And down inside the 40, Jared McChesney moves the chains with emphasis.
Emphasis on bringing the pain. Just look at this man right here. You just see nobody goes through this gap. That man hits the ground, and Weil tries to make a tackle. There's nothing he can do about that. And McChesney's just this tough, forward runner. He's just a headstrong runner, and he's able to get those tough yards. I mean, if you got to get some penetration down in the backfield to get to him, you have to get him early and often to make plays on him.
I saw that play shaping up and thought immediately, there's no way Aiden Davis makes this solo tackle, and down the field, caught, and going inside the 10 is Logan Keel again. Aiden Davis saves a touchdown, but the Nightwings are in business at the 7.
I mean, you just saw the way Houston was lined up. They were trying to stop that run again. Sends a lot of pressure on that blitz there, and they just sagged a bit on coverage, and that led Keel once again. He's just such a speedy receiver, and if you give him any space over the top, you bite on the run just a little bit. that's just going to be catastrophic.
Now inside the 10, Denver looking to really make this one hurt on Houston. Already up by 13. It's another play action to the end zone. Incomplete, as it was intended for Logan Keel, but he was already out of bounds.
Yeah, his timing was adjusted there on that pass. You just saw that the pressure was trying to get to him again, and he's just throwing on his back foot. It's just not what you want to do as a quarterback, and that just made sure that there was no way that pass was going to get to Keel in time.
We've got this power formation here with McChesney dotting two blockers in front of him. He's going to get the handoff, go up the middle, and he's going to power his way for the Denver touchdown. And it's maybe time to push the panic button. Houston, we may have a problem. It's an extra point away from being 20-0.
Yeah, they just won the battle right there at the hack count. You just saw had the numbers and just kept making their alignment weaker and weaker and made it real easy for McChesney to get a free lane to the end zone there.
Here is Kramer Jackman on for the extra point. And the extra point is up and good. Denver 20, Houston nothing. And at this point, what's it going to take for Houston to get back in this ballgame, Levant?
They're going to need some turnovers. They're going to need to take away this efficient passing game of Miller. They need to really get at the quarterback. They need to send a lot more pressure than they have been. I know they've been doing it at the beginning of this game. They've actually been hurrying him a bit, but they actually need to get some sacks, force them back a bit.
And it's not going to be great starting position for Houston as the ball's only returned up to the 20-yard line. 6 minutes 20 to go in the first half. And Denver already up 20-0. And the Houston hype train is losing steam every possession, it seems. Let's see if Kentez Johnson and the Houston offense can right the ship and get back on track here. Handoff Murray up the middle. Plenty of room to run. He's going to pick up 8 yards on first down.
Well, you see so far today, they're very neck and neck in terms of yardage, but I feel like, Murray's had a lot more opportunities. He's had, a lot more carries and just hasn't been himself so far today. It doesn't seem like. That run looks a lot more like it. Gains 8 on that play. That's what they need to see more of.
Murray again. Guy gets a nice edge block and a second one. He's into the open field, and he's only eventually brought down in Denver territory. Nice run by Warren Murray, and that's what they needed.
Yeah, when Houston has found themselves in crisis, Warren Murray is the person you break in case of emergency, and he breaks out on a big run here. They seal the edge on the outside. Great job there by the offensive line, and that sure he was able to get through for the first down.
So what you're saying is when they find themselves in times of trouble, Warren Murray comes to me.
Yes.
First down and 10 for Houston inside Denver territory. It's going to be a check down to Murray, and he's going to be shouldered to the ground after a loss of 2 yards. If you want to go from the couch to the field, if you can see yourself as a player in this league, go to simulationfl.net today. Join our Discord community. You can get progression each week to build draft value for your player. The rookie draft is Saturday, December 14th, live on the 11 Sports Network. And you could be on the field as early as January as season 14 kicks off at the beginning of 2020. Short pass over the middle. It's low and incomplete, intended for Leroy Brown. And they need to get number 11 involved because he was a huge factor down the stretch of how they even made the playoffs.
Yeah, we were actually on the call for the game that Leroy Brown actually had an outstanding game, went over 100 yards. So far, it's had the case of the dropsies here. That's just not what you want out of your receiver.
Murray. Or Johnson, rather, to the far side and a diving stop on the pass. trying to see who that was. That was Teddy Farmer, the second string free safety, who got a hand on that ball intended for the number 81, Barry Bergens.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like it was going to be inbounds anyway, but you really got to appreciate the hustle. That's how you have to play playoff football right there. Even if it wasn't certain that it was going to be caught for a reception, I like to see the energy there.
And unfortunately, that ends Houston's drive, a promising one that ended in Houston territory, but another punt coming up for Bryant Adams here. Trying to pin Denver deep. And that ball's going to be high in the air, bounces inside the 10. A great bounce, and it takes a Houston roll down to the 4. And let's see if Houston's defense can force Denver into a mistake. If you want apparel from the Simulation Football League, want a shirt, want a flag, want pretty much anything you could wish for, go to sector6apparel.com and go to the Simulation Football League page. You can get fantastic gear like you see on your screen from pretty much all the teams and the league itself. Handoff. Going nowhere is McChesney, 2nd and 10.
That's what you want to see more out of your front seven right there. You want to have that penetration line. You want to have that. You want to get the jump on them before they even break, before they even fan out, and you want to get to that ball carrier. They did that. They got through the gap, forced containment, made sure they got it, and made sure that McChesney stayed inside.
Now McChesney stays inside this time and gets 5 yards, sets up 3rd and 5 at the Denver 9. Under 4 minutes to go here in this first half. Houston still trying to find an answer offensively, and getting stopped defensively here would go a long way for that because they would get good field position. But a 3rd down and 5 upcoming for Denver. Back to pass Miller. Miller throws, and it's caught by Bryce Battle, who gets a 1st down. Battle, who joined the team in Week 9 via the SFL Couch to Field, saves his team's drive there and keeps it going at the 18-yard line. Four receivers wide for Denver. It's going to be another play action to the far side. Caught and tapping the toes. Giacomo Jones grabs 8 yards.
There on the route there, you just saw that there wasn't that much pressure coming his way. That time was able to get open, and great throw there by Miller to get to his receiver there.
You see the results from Houston's great run at the end of the season. McChesney breaks a tackle, gets a block, stiff arm. Oh, McChesney, unbelievable. He's going to go away. 75 yards, and Denver's blown this game wide open.
And you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming the whole time here. We just saw the stats earlier. He broke out for maybe like 2 yards here, 3 yards there. Had a couple big yards earlier in the game. But that right there is what you want to see out of McChesney. Ahead right now. This is exactly why this team is 11-1. The potent running game coupled with like the insane over-the-top plays that they make in the passing game, and this is what Denver's all about right here.
And that is the 2nd time that Jared McChesney has absolutely bowled over Aiden Davis in space for a big gain. And you can see the chat reacting at twitch.tv/11sportsnext. If you want to get involved in that chat, interact with players, coaches, fans, and even us up here in the broadcast booth, head over to twitch.tv/11sportsnext to join our live chat. There's a lot of fantastic people in there. You see Denver Nightwings. They're the official account for Jeremy Vega, owner of the Denver Nightwings, Vancouver Legion. They're another team in this league. Almost everybody in there is a player on some team or other in the SFL, so go check it out. And now Houston down by 27. Alarm bells ringing for the Hyenas here as the return out just past the 22, the 21. 2:43 to go second quarter.
You know what? One can say whatever they like about this deficit right now, but there's still another half of football left to play, and I wouldn't say any scoreline safe right now. Just because a team's not doing well in the first does not mean they can readjust their game plan in the second, come out guns blazing.
And with the playoff games that we've had already, especially the 2 quarterfinals last night, as DR Sim makes a 7-yard catch, I wouldn't even doubt it that Houston could be able to mount some kind of comeback, because the 2 games yesterday were absolutely insane. Seattle using a walk-off touchdown to come back and beat the 3-time defending champion Alaska Storm. And then in the nightcap, Tallahassee using a late fourth quarter comeback to upset the Mexico City Aztecs. Kentez Johnson under center. He'll change the play at the line. Second play of the drive, 2nd and 3 from the Houston 27. Here's a handoff. Murray runs around the right side. He's got a blocker in space, and he's going to get a first down out past the 38. As we approach the 2-minute warning.
The only thing I could fault live there on that run as we go to the I would have liked to see him bounce a little bit to the outside. It looked like he just juked right back inside and went right into the defenders.
He had Jamie Olawale out there. And we have hit the 2-minute warning. It's all Nightwings as they're flying away with this one. 27-0. We'll be back after the break. This is the Simulation Football League quarterfinals on the 11 Sports Network. Welcome back to Denver, Colorado, the hometown Nightwings all over the Houston Hyenas 27. I don't think 2 minutes to go in the opening half. Offset eye on 1st and 10. Johnson flares it out to Murray. Murray got some running room, and he's going to be tackled after a gain of only 4. Justin Jones up from the corner spot to make the hit.
That's something that Denver's really improved upon as this game has gone on, is that they've been able to cover those flats. They've been having either a corner, they've had a linebacker, they've had someone in that cover too. They just sit there, they just spy, just make sure they sit on those routes and make sure the runner can't get very far.
Handoff Murray up the middle, spin move, and he gets some good yardage, and he gets inside the 50-yard line down to the Denver 49. We've got a man down. It's Justin Jones, the quarterback who just made the tackle on the previous play for Denver. And we hope it's not serious, as you see safety Justin Vasquez there. Let's see what happened. Oh, it looks like he either pulled something or cramped up, and we're going to have to wait and see.
I've had a couple of injuries like that before in my life, when it just pulls on you like that. It's like it might case they just pulled something running, and let's hope it isn't, but that's what it looked like to me.
1st and 10 inside Denver territory. Houston short over the middle. That pass is caught by Olawale. Still 3 timeouts for both sides here, as we come down to almost a minute left in the first half. Another short pass, and that's intercepted. Trying to find the crossing pattern to Murray, and it is picked off by Denver. Devontae Phillips with the pick.
I was talking about this 2 plays ago. They like to sit on those in that soft zone right there. He's just there on a hook curl, and yep, that right there. Threw a little bit too low, undersold his receiver, and right into the hands of the linebacker.
And that was probably Houston's most promising drive of the game, and it's just snapped away like Thanos, snapping away their Houston chances there. Another play action, under pressure throws. What an amazing play by Josh Miller to get the ball away. It was caught for a first down up to the 45-yard line. Another play action over the middle. Ayoke tipped it incomplete. It was almost intercepted by Chidole Awuzale. But it's going to be second down and 10, and we can all take a little bit of a breath as it slows down.
Second and 10 from your all-pros, 46-yard line.
Second and 10. With under a minute to go in the first half. Handoff McChesney. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped a lot of scrimmage. Denver uses the first of their 3 timeouts with 48 seconds to go. And if you're Denver, up big, 27-0, right before the half, I mean, Houston doesn't seem very keen on using your timeouts. Why don't you just try and run it out and go to the half here?
Because it's the playoffs. Like I just said earlier, no score is safe. Past quarterfinals, they've seen those games too. They're probably just going to think about just keep on driving.
Miller dumps it off on the run, incomplete. BJ Loveless was coming hard for the quarterback. And we are seeing a battle of the two best defenses in the Simulation Football League in the case of allowing first downs. Now on fourth down, they did get a decent stop here, Houston. They're going to get the ball back with maybe 30 seconds to go. And all 3 timeouts. Punt is away from Lily Long. Fair catch at the 21 by Giesland. So now we're going to flip that around, and Houston's going to have a chance to get on the board before the break with 38 seconds and 3 timeouts. If you like what you see and you want to learn more, visit simulationfl.net for more information. First and 10, Kentez Johnson with 4 receivers to aim at. He's going to take a short drop, fire it over the middle. That pass is complete. Donante Woodson, the tight end, first down, and a little bit more to timeout used with 33 seconds to go in the half. That's the first time we've seen that formation out of Houston today. It worked decently well for what it was worth. Good 10-yard pickup.
Sometimes you just got to change your script around, and especially when you get this far behind and there's not a lot of time left in the second, you can experiment a bit before going to the half.
Handoff, Murray, nowhere to go as he's wrapped up. He almost actually gets away, ends up losing a yard as B.J. Armstrong brings him down. No timeout used for Houston. They go back to Murray. He gets a block, cuts inside, goes up the middle and gets 7 yards. Third down and 3. They're going to continue to go up tempo with 10 seconds to go. They still have 2 timeouts. They're going to snap the ball, run it to Murray. Murray gets away, gets a first down. This is not college, but they do use a timeout with 3 seconds to go.
You know, at that point, you're starting to see that things are working. Probably should go to the half here, but maybe they're going to give themselves one more chance at this Hail Mary. He's talking to his quarterback right now on the sidelines. He's just trying to calm him down and get ready for this last play.
Owner and head coach Damon Simeon there, trying to impart some words of wisdom on Kentez Johnson. Maybe a Hail Mary to end the half. They are in that formation. And they got the offensive line's going to have for the receivers to get down. This will be the last play of the first half. Here comes Bailey Baca. The throw is in the air from Kentez Johnson all the way down the field. It's tipped in the air and incomplete. And we will head to the half. Justin Jones' twisted ankle may return for the cornerback for Denver, but we will head to the break. It's all Night Wings. Denver 27, Houston Hyenas nothing, and we head to the Simulation Football League halftime show. Your thoughts on the first half, Lamont Mercer?
Here's the thing with this game so far. It's just big plays have opened up the scoring for the Nightwing. Otherwise, Houston's had a decent chance at like shutting down their their offense to this point. As we see the stats, it's not exceptionally amazing except for two key things here. You check out the turnovers and the time of possession. Denver's had the ball for almost 30 minutes, 25 minutes they've had the ball for. They've been able to get back on the field simply because of those turnovers that Houston has given up. It was a key that I mentioned earlier that for Houston to really to try to win this game, they really needed to be ahead in the takeaway count. And right now they're behind. They're just not really getting ahead on offense. They're not really pushing the pile there when they run. They get a couple runs to the outside here and there. They make a couple plays, but they can't get past the threshold. They can't get past the 40. They haven't been in the red zone once. They've been backed up probably most of this game, and that's why they're behind right now, I feel.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that the Denver defense, as you see the first turnover via the fumble that happened there, is putting on a defensive masterclass in this first half. So in the first half, no points allowed, average drive length about 3.5, 4 plays for Houston. It's just been all black and blue, and I'm not just talking about the bodies of the Houston defenders.
No, it's not. It's just basically that's how the game has gone. Houston gets a couple drives going, but they stutter right about past the 40 and they can't go any further. They punt the ball away, and then big plays from the Denver is just catapult this offense to this big lead. Like right here, we just see McChesney, powerful run. Pass blockers in front of him. No one was able to get to the edge faster than he was, and he was able to get that touchdown. It's these big plays that have opened the scoring. At least 14 points have come from just one play. Like 14 points have come from two plays so far in this game. That one long run by McChesney and those two deep bombs to Logan Q.
As we are back to start the second half from Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium in Denver, Colorado, the hometown Night Wings lead the Houston Hyenas 27-0. I am your play-by-play commentator, Michael Trebillo, joined in the booth by Levant Mercer. Jimmy Galvez is on the stats for us tonight, and Cameron Irvine is on production. We welcome you back into the stadium for the second half of the third of 4 SFL quarterfinals that have been played over the past 2 days. Houston's going to get the ball to start the second half, needing basically what they've needed the last quarter of the season, consecutive minor miracles. But it is not over just yet, as we have seen time and again just over the last 24 hours. Houston gets the ball at the 20 to start the third quarter. 22 minutes of football left to go here from Denver. Kentez Johnson in the gun. He's going to throw out to the far side, and there's a bit of an awkward catch, and losing 2 yards is Randy Gathers, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Yeah, they've just not been able to get much going forward in the passing game so far. You just see why there. He's pressured once again. Had a lot of pressure in his face that time. Had to throw on his back foot. He was lucky to get the ball away. And it's plays like that that's just been keeping Houston bogged down here.
Here's a throw to Murray. Murray gets away from one, cannot get away from a hard-charging Nicholas Warner. As you can see, Warren Murray's numbers down the stretch when they needed him most. 7 of his 12 touchdowns on the season came in the last 4 games. Third and 7, it's going to be on the arm of Kentez Johnson here. Johnson, plenty of time over the middle, and turning upfield is Barry Bergens for the first down past the 30.
That's something that we've been seeing from Houston's offense a bit here. You know, they've been going to these other receivers. They haven't been going to Sim as much. They haven't, and Leroy Brown hasn't been getting open. They've had to trust more in players like Gathers and Sears.
Johnson to Murray. Murray with a little bit of room to run, but no blockers in front of him. He still gets 8 yards. Eventually tackled again by Nicholas Warder. As you take a look at the numbers on the Nightwings defense, and they get credit for they spread out the workload across all the players on this defense. They all get involved in big ways. 2nd and 2, offset I, really crowding the line as the defense, and Murray gets the ball and runs around everybody. Gets good blocks and gets a first down into Denver territory at the 48-yard line, or not quite into Denver territory, up to the 48-yard line.
I mean, that's all well and good that you're able to crowd the hack count there, but if you're not able to get much penetration there, you can't seal the edge. You see Bailey Baca there, pretty big, good run stopping defensive tackle there, but he's just not quite as agile as ends would be, and Murray was able to take advantage of that and go to the outside.
Here's another run from Murray. He's going to be chased down from behind before he can get anywhere. Another loss of 2. Dante Phillips, who made the interception in the second quarter, makes the tackle for loss here, sets up Houston behind the chains.
Yeah, that's something that you want to see here when you're looking at your defense here. You saw that the guard was not able to really adjust himself, wasn't in position, let Dante Phillips right through, and that's just something you can't let happen. So it's a mix of those two things.
Murray up the middle, 2nd and 12, gets only one of them back as he was spun to the ground. And something that I have noticed throughout this game that Houston has lacked, that I've seen in their other games, especially down the stretch this season, is big playability. They're not really going deep down the field with Johnson. The only couple of times they have, it's been incomplete. They haven't really been going to their big receivers, D.R. Sim and Leroy Brown. It's all been short. Now on 3rd and 11, here's over the middle into double coverage and incomplete. It was intended again for Dante Woodson, the tight end. It was knocked away.
You just saw right there what they really need to get involved in this game. They need Sim and Leroy Brown, 3rd and 5th in yards per reception, respectively, to really get at this Denver defense. And they just haven't been able to find themselves open often enough to give Johnson a chance to get those big plays.
Another punt for Brian Adams, caught and returned. Only up to the 27-yard line. We are going to go to a break, but we will be right back from Denver. It's the Nightwings 27, the Houston Hyenas nothing. This is the Simulation Football League quarterfinals on the 11 Sports Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Denver, Colorado. Michael Chirillo, Levant Mercer, and Jimmy Galvez taking you through this Simulation Football League quarterfinal matchup, quarterfinal number 3 of 4, and the first of a Wednesday doubleheader. Here's another play-action fake over the far side. That pass is caught for a 9-yard gain. And one of the things that surprised me most about Denver's game plan today is the amount of times they've gone with the play-action pass, because it's not a strategy you usually see teams in the SFL use.
Well, when you have a back like Jared McChesney back there who's already broken for like a 75-yard run, you get a little more leeway getting away with plays like that. They take a little time to develop in this league, but, with a back like that, you're always worried about him.
And McChesney this time gets the ball, picks up a first down, 3-yard run to the 40. And Jeremy Vega has shown he can take a not very well utilized strategy and make it work. You've seen plenty of passes over the middle on play action, short to Steve Aoki, the fullback. And then we've seen him lull the defense to sleep, then go long to Logan Keel a couple of times, especially on the touchdown in the second quarter. First and 10, 6.5 to go in the third. Here's a short toss out to Aoki on the far side. He'll get 2 and be run out of bounds by Rodney Panani.
Yeah, but they've been employing this quite a bit. They've been just, getting the tight end involved, getting the full back involved, running a couple plays, maybe running to the outside a bit. Trying to lull the defense to sleep again. That's what they've been good at so far in this game. That's why they're ahead.
4 receivers set for Denver. It's another play action to the near side, caught by Giacomo Jones. Is going to be 3 yards shy of the first down as he was tripped up a little bit by the pass. 3rd and 3.
By the pass or by the turf monsters, they've right side there all day, so that could have been the case as well. But here's the real key here. They've been able to keep these third downs in manageable situations, and when you're, third and less than 5 yards to go, you have a lot of options available to you.
Handoff, McChesney bottled up, falls forward, close to a first down, but not gonna get there. If you want to know more about the Simulation Football League, here's how it works. Teams have coaching staffs that break down the film in order to use a game plan that will be effective against their opponents. And the users are the players on the field. Each week, they get their stats tracked. They can improve their player, add animations, customize their look, add stats to get better at the game of football and lead their team to potentially a championship, as the teams in the SFL playoffs are fighting for. This is the 13th season of the Simulation Football League, 2 seasons per year. We've been actively going since 2005. Houston back on offense with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. They'll take over at their own 18-yard line, down 27-0. Johnson to the gun with Warren Murray flanking and 3 receivers to aim at. Murray over the middle, caught, and breaking free is Toby Gieslin. He'll get 15 yards and a first down up to the 33.
Slants are a very vital route in situations when you're getting heavy pressure right here. That time beats the press and was able to just get through for the first down. No, Werner was a little too slow, tried to, tackle him. Not the way you want to tackle out here. You don't want to dive like that, and that was just enough to get him the first down.
5 wide, no backs on 1st and 10 as Johnson is pressured, moves in the pocket and just dumps the ball into the turf for no gain. If you want to get involved and go from the couch to the field, visit simulationfl.net today. Join our Discord community. Tell us how you found us in the introductions channel and in the welcome channel. Then you can bank progression each week to build draft value for your player and compete with hundreds of others to be the SFL's next big superstar. Don't forget to tune into the SFL Season 14 Rookie Draft in December live on the 11 Sports Network. Handoff to Warren Murray. He'll get 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 upcoming. And it's been a defensive clinic for Denver today. And mostly as a part of their linebackers. Mike Sawchuk and Adam Wiseman have really gotten great pressure both in the run and the pass game. Here's 3rd and 6. Johnson fires underneath. Did he turn up the field? No. Barry Bergens barely did not get to the first down marker, 4th down and inches. We saw them go for it on 4th down in the first quarter, Houston, only to get stuffed. And the punter, Brian Adams, is on the field, not risking to go for it in their own half of the field. And that punt is nearly blocked, but Adams gets it away. Good punt. Fielded just past the 20 and down at the 25-yard line. We will be back after the break. Denver still leads Houston 27-0 halfway through the third quarter. This is the Simulation Football League playoffs on 11 Sports Network. Stay with us. back in Denver, Colorado. 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. That over one overall seed Denver Nightwings all over the Houston Hyenas 27-0. And on offense, and 5 wide on first down. Throw to the far sideline is complete for a 4-yard gain. Catch made by Logan Keel.
Yeah, so having a great day so far. Logan Keel has. He's had, a couple big time receptions. Got that touchdown earlier. He's just been doing everything that you want a receiver to do in a big time game like this for Denver.
He has been the main receiver out there for the Nightwings. Giacomo Jones has a couple of catches. Bryce Battle has a big catch for a first down earlier in the game. Here's underneath pass that was just behind the aforementioned Battle. 3rd down and 6. And don't forget that the Simulation Football League is not done in season 13. You've got the 2 semifinals on the 22nd, and then the SFL Championship game on the 30th, all on the 11 Sports Network. Here's another play-action pass. That time the pressure got to Miller, but he's able to complete a pass, and a diving catch was made by Giacomo Jones for a first down.
Now, Jones hasn't been getting involved too much so far in this game, but he's been making plays that Denver really does appreciate. Those sideline catches there to get those first down yardage. He's been getting yards here and there, and he's been getting involved in ways that you don't see, highlighted the most because Keel's been getting bigger plays, but he's been doing good things for his team.
Here's a short pass to McChesney with some room to run, and he's bottled up after a gain of 8 as nobody was pressuring the flats. 2nd down and 2. And what a play back 2 plays ago from Josh Miller, who escaped pressure one of the few times all game he's actually had to move in the pocket, threw on the run and completed a pinpoint pass to Jones for a first down. 2nd down and 2. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter here. Handoff, McChesney looking for a lane, gets a block and gets the edge, and he's down inside Houston territory to the 40-yard line before he's finally brought down by Anthony Wyo.
Just saw that great running back vision right here. He just saw that this part kind of broke down on him, goes bound, bounces it back to the outside, picks up some key blocks, and gets the first down. And sometimes that's what you need to do to make sure you get yardage. You got to bounce back out, you got to cut back, and you got to find some yards another way.
Look, we really haven't seen out of Denver much today. 2 backs, only 1 receiver. McChesney is blown up for a loss of 1. Good pressure up the middle by Mike Johnson. And a name we really haven't mentioned so far today is defensive tackle for Houston, Chad Tackle.
2nd and 10.
Under 2 minutes to go now in the third. On a 2nd and 11, McChesney gets the ball again and loses another yard. Now the Houston front line stepping up on this set of plays. Now 3rd down and 12, another tackle by Johnson.
3rd and 11 from the Hyena 41-yard line.
Here is Miller on 3rd and 12 over the middle, and it's incomplete, but there is a penalty flag. Pass interference isn't something you really see much in the SFL, but it looks like Anthony Wyo may get called for it here.
Number 26.
And it will be pass interference against the Hyenas. It's not against Wyo, it's against Jordan Lewis, but it will give Denver a free first down and continue the drive for the Nightwings.
That's something you don't want to see when you're supposed to be the team with the best 3rd down percentage, on 3rd down here. That's pretty rough when you're behind to make a mental misstep like that. Just seems like he got a little too handsy with the receiver way past 5 yards down the field, and that's why he got called there.
Here's McChesney, dives forward for 2 yards, and Denver just whittling down the clock. They have a big lead. Their defense is playing well. They've dominated the time of possession in the ball game. Houston has been behind the eight ball from the word go, and Denver is doing everything in their power to keep it that way as you look at the updated numbers for Josh Miller. Here's second down and 8, trips to the near side left. One receiver to the far side. Miller, short drop, pressure in his face, throws, and it's knocked away. It was batted out of the sky by Aiden Davis, who's had a bit of a rough day in the Houston secondary.
To his defense, when you're the last member to be able to make a tackle and you're the corner against a running back, you got to really look at the other 10 members of that defense. You're like, why did you do this to me?
Four wide and alone in the backfield is Miller. In the and it's intercepted. Houston finally has its takeaway. It's Anthony Wayo who comes down with the interception at his own 11-yard line, and the Hyenas take over.
Yeah, Miller was hit as he threw this time, and that was enough to send him sailing low, right where Wayo found himself.
First and 10 for Houston at their own 11-yard line. Down 27-0, and with just over 1 quarter to play, it's a long way back for the number 10 seed. And here's a first play of the drive. Johnson flips it out incomplete, led the receiver Leroy Brown too far. And this is not, well, first let's take a look at how the SFL works if you're brand new. Real people are behind the coaching staffs of the team. They build a game plan that will be effective against their opponents. Then the AI carries out those plans each week. The users are the players on the field. They improve their players' abilities. They get animations. They get their stats tracked over on our website, simulationfl.net. Here's a run for Warren Murray. Murray breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle down the sideline. He's finally brought down from behind at the 39-yard line. And that bumps his average yards per carry up to 5.5 as he breaks it off for 25 yards up to the 39.
Yeah, they're still running the ball here, and he has to do it all himself there. That time he has to break through 2 defenders to get this wide run. He really did not get an exceptional amount of help there on the edge there. He did get that key block here, but he did it all himself.
First down for Houston at their own 39. Only 16 seconds left to go in the third quarter. This will be the last play of this quarter, if they even decide to run a play at all. Houston will with 5 seconds left. Murray will lose a yard, and that will take us to the start of the fourth quarter. 4's up in the chat. We'll be right back after the break. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on the 11 Sports Network. We'll be back to the fourth quarter. Stay with us. Back in Denver, Colorado for the Simulation Football League quarterfinals. 1 quarter of action to go as we start the fourth quarter. Here's a swing pass to Warren Murray, who makes a spinning grab and gets 2, sets up a 3rd and 8. And despite the domination on the field by the Denver Nightwings today, let's take nothing away from the incredible run the Houston Hyenas have had to get here. They were 2-7. Everybody was counting them out. Nobody said they had a chance. They had a gauntlet to run in the last part of the season, taking on some of the best teams in the league. They won out, had the dominoes fall their way in terms of strength of schedule to make the postseason as Johnson throws to the far side to Brown, and it's not going to be nearly enough. 4th down and 5 coming up. They made the postseason and then became the first team ever to win a game as the 10 seed as they beat Chicago last week 13-7. It's been an amazing run for this team, Levant, and this is the last iteration of this Houston Hyenas team that we're going to see because there are big shakeups coming in the offseason. We'll speak to that after this punt here. Punt's up in the air and down inside the 20. Decent punt as Denver will start at their own 17-yard line. But I did mention that there will be shakeups on this Houston team in the offseason because their defensive coordinator, the main man that has captained this defense to get to this point, Eddie Gage, will be leaving Houston at the end of the season. He is going to form a team out in Arizona as they have received the SFL franchise spot from the Oklahoma City Renegades that will fold after this season. First and 10 from the 17. 10 minutes, 15 to go. Handoff McChesney. He gets no yards on the play.
It's going to be sad to see him leave this team, too. I mean, this defense has been really the key that has brought them to these playoffs. And the team that the defense he has assembled, has really put other teams to the sword. So
McChesney gets a 2-yard run. And to your point that they've put other teams to the sword, this lead for Denver is kind of deceiving because 14 of their points, their only 2 touchdowns, came on 2 busted plays. One, the safety bit on a play action pass, and it was an easy pitch and catch over the top to Logan Keel. And then McChesney did McChesney things and broke off a 75-yard touchdown run. If that doesn't happen, it's 12-0 as a pass up the seam is complete for a first down up to the 30.
Yeah, and that's been the key here. I mean, Denver really puts up 30, 40-plus points right now. We've gotten through the fourth quarter, and they're still under 30. They average way more than 27 points a game. You just check this out right here. They average 44 points a game in the playoffs. Houston's doing pretty good right now compared to that.
Over the middle, caught for another first down, 13 more yards picked up by Giacomo Jones. And something to mention here, as good as Houston's defense has been, their offense has really been the sticking point here in the playoffs and down the stretch of the season. They have not had a touchdown in the 2 playoff games they played. They won their wild card game 13-7. And the touchdown in that game came on a pick 6. So Houston's offense really hasn't been going enough in the postseason to have them stay in this game, but their defense has been doing very admirably. Here's another run from Chesney. He'll get 5, 2nd and 5. And this is the point about Denver's offense. They can really lull you to sleep and make you focus on other things. We've been talking about the Houston defense. They're already up by midfield, and their drive started at their own 13.
And they've been really methodical so far on offense. They've just been dinking and dunking here and there.
Another run from McChesney. He is taken down with authority in the backfield. There you see the playoff bracket. The winner of this game, most likely the Denver Nightwings, will play the Tallahassee Pride, who upset the Mexico City Aztecs last night in a brilliant fourth quarter comeback. Later tonight, the Atlanta Swarm visit the Baltimore Vultures in the final quarterfinal game, and the winner of that game will play the Seattle Tyrants, who used a walk-off touchdown to beat the 3-time back-to-back defending champion Alaska Storm as that pass is caught over the middle. Logan Keel snipes that out of the air and gets inside the Houston 40. But
he's getting real.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lamont.
If he's getting real close to that threshold, he needs to become franchise over daily holder. He's getting real close to that point. He's going to need a little more help. He's going to need a couple more receptions. He needs to get 116 this game. Right now, he's at 98 to make that threshold. But just putting that out there.
First and 10 for the Houston 37. Handoff, McChesney. He almost runs over 2 defenders at once and gets 8 yards. But if you haven't seen the final play of the quarterfinal game last night between Seattle and Alaska. It is up now. The highlight is on our uh, social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. All of those at Simulation FL. Get you can go watch it over and over and over again if you if you want to relive the moment, or if you just missed it and you want to see a fantastic moment, go and watch that on our socials. That's at Simulation FL on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And our social media director, Andy Hamilton, does a fantastic job keeping SFL Nation informed and up to date, pretty darn close to 24/7. There's another play action pass on 3rd and 6, and it's another first down. Efficiency incarnate is the Denver offense right now. Logan Keel makes another catch to the Houston 25.
Yeah, they've just been playing keep away so far with the ball right now. They've had it most of this quarter and driving down the field once again. They've been respecting this Houston defense. They've been trying to get players open. They've been trying to scheme them open to make sure. They've just only been able to do so twice, and that's a testament to how hard this defense has still been fighting.
Handoff over the middle. Another play action, and Aoki dives forward for a first down inside the 14 into the SFL red zone again. Go the Night Wings. The last time they were here, McChesney ran it in for a touchdown. And I seem to have forgot that touchdown in my scoring rundown from earlier, so I do apologize to McChesney. He does have 2 touchdowns on the night. And Miller to the end zone, intercepted for the second time today. He just floated it over the middle, intended for Keel. He wanted to get him a second touchdown, and Anthony Wayo has his second pick of the evening.
Yeah, if you're only looking at the score, you might be thinking about what do you expect the defense. Look at this right here. Wayo again, just a ball hawk, able to just read the defense, read the offense, and just take the ball away. That's what you got to be worried about.
We'll be back after the break. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on the 11 Sports Network. Tonight's Simulation Football League quarterfinal on the 11 Sports Network is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth football players to help hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel and the exclusive SFL shop provider. And by Spygo, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews, united by Drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage back in Denver after the Anthony Wyo interception. Houston back on the football at the 20-yard line, and Kentez Johnson's going deep, and he throws a pick right back to the Nightwings. Unbelievable interception by Denver. One play is all they needed to get the ball back, and it's B.J. Armstrong with his 4th pick of the year.
You know, they've had a pass like that earlier, way back, that should have been caught by Brown. This time, they to it, try to see if they can get Denver off guard on the start here, and that was a whole yikes, I got to say.
McChesney, Wolf, that's his worst run of the evening. The offensive line decided to head out for a burger a little bit early, and he lost 4 yards to Rodney Panani on that play.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes when they're facing an elite front seven like this. You beat them most of the game, and then late in the fourth, they start, you know, coming right back at you. They still have that high molder.
Offset eye, 2nd and 14 now. I'm sure it's not really concerning for the Denver offense, up 27-0 as Miller over the middle and leaping over the referee to make the catch is Giacomo Jones. And that may be one of the most impressive catches on the evening.
Yeah, like I said, hasn't been involved exceptionally, but when he has made plays, he's made them in situations his team need, and we're going to be looking at a challenge. I think they didn't like the spot of the ball.
We have a challenge here. So I guess having nothing else to challenge, uses his challenge that didn't get a first down. Let's see. I mean, from that angle, he looks well short. And from that angle, he looks like he's over. So I'm not sure what the average is gonna be here.
Probably from where his knee was down.
After review, the call on the field is overturned.
And they overturn the call. Houston keeps their timeout. Denver will have a 3rd down coming up, 3rd down and 1.
Because first, the play on the field has to be called dead first. Where he was and where he ends up are 2 different things. Forward progress doesn't really start until where your knee hits. So, I mean, his knee didn't hit the ground yet.
And Jared McChesney will barrel through for a 1st down to the 30. If you like what you see in the SFL, do not forget we have one more quarterfinal matchup, and it is tonight on the 11 Sports Network. It's the 2 seed, the Baltimore Vultures, and the 8 seed, the Atlanta Swarm, live from Baltimore on the 11 Sports Network tonight. Levant, what are your thoughts on a big matchup in the final quarterfinal? And it could be a barn burner with 2 aggressive offenses going at it.
Well, not only that, but Marcus Dunhill's really had a breakout season this for Atlanta, and I'd like to see he comes out fire if he comes out Baltimore tonight.
And Baltimore have a fair bit of legendary players on their team. The Dazzos, Joe and Mike. T. Roy Gaines, their running back, has been tearing up the league all season. It's going to be an incredible battle in Baltimore and the Bay Area tonight. That's on the 11 Sports Network. Tune in for that to see who the final team into the Season 13 quarterfinals will be. Just over 2 minutes to go in this one. Denver has a comfortable 27-0 lead, and Jared McChesney continues to lose yards. That's the backups are in for Denver. So that will be Skeeter Baja on the carry. Anthony Wyo made the stop. And 3rd down and 12 coming up.
Well, little under 2 touchdowns left. I mean, a little bit under 2 touchdowns over their opponent. I'm not too sure if time to bring the backups in, but that's how Denver feels like being. Little BM.
And that'll be the 2-minute warning. And we're going to head to a break. We'll be back to wrap up this one as the Houston Hyenas are all but eliminated from the playoffs. Denver 27, Hyenas nothing. This is the Simulation Football League quarterfinals of the 11 Sports Network. Back in Denver, Colorado, and the Season 12 runners-up have put on an absolute masterclass in the Season 13 quarterfinals. It's 27-0 as the Denver Nightwings over the Houston Hyenas. Here's a play-action fake, and almost escaping is Josh Miller, but he eventually goes down. Houston uses their first time out. And I was told by Cameron Irvine, who's in the production truck today, at the break, that it is very likely that this would be, if the score holds, the first shutout in SFL playoff history. And it's going to be a long field goal. That's an over 50-yard. That's a 52-yard attempt. Remember, Craver Jackman has not missed in his career. Snap down. Hold good. Kick away. No good. He missed it. It did not have the leg. And the score holds 27-0.
That's the first miss in his career, but not or should not beat himself up about it because this team is so far ahead in this one, it would only serve to round out the numbers.
Well, we made a little bit of history in this ball game, and that holds the 27-0 scoreline. There have been no points scored in the second half as we stand. Denver 27, Houston nothing. All the scoring in the first half, and most of it in the second quarter. Kentez Johnson over the middle. That pass is dropped. It was intended for Greg Corky in the slot.
That is a name I have not heard in quite some time, to be honest.
And Greg Corky, he used to be over at the San Antonio. Man, I can't remember what the Vaqueros they were. The San Antonio Vaqueros, a team that eventually became the Denver Nightwings as franchise ownership was transferred to Jeremy Vega 3 seasons ago. Here's Kentez Johnson looking long and down the field. It's caught, and the goose egg is no more. Toby Gieslin, touchdown, Houston.
I spent the past 2 minutes trying to research it myself to make sure that you all were right, and it doesn't even matter anymore, because they opened up the scoring anyway. Toby Gieslin comes out about the slot with some great speed, beats his man on the line, doesn't even try to press him. That was Duncan right there. Absolutely sashimi there on that play. And wide open goes Gieslin for the score, nullifying my research and that of everyone else's.
That was Ellis Duncan, who is in for the injured Justin Jones at cornerback. Remember, Jones got injured, twisted his ankle in the second quarter and has not returned. Extra point up and good from Matthew Flynn. And Houston makes it a little bit more respectable. 1:40 to go in the game. Denver 27, Houston 7. And I think that may prompt Jeremy Vega to put the starters back in.
I did say, 3 touchdown leads probably not enough to bring the backups in. They do it anyway. Bad day.
Well, the onside kick doesn't work out for Houston. It was recovered. I'm trying to find out who recovered the football. It was Sam Blanchick, the third string tight end, working special teams. And Denver goes back on offense. Let's see if they put the first team back on the field. Here's a handoff and will not. That is still Skeeter Baja on the carry. Houston uses its second timeout, and from this point, Denver, I think, can just run the clock all the way down to 0.
Well, they're still going to need at least a first down here. Houston still has a timeout left. So, calculations look like if they don't really make a first down here, they're not really have the ability to just kneel the ball. They're going to need to at least get a first down on this drive.
It looks like it's going to be all runs all the time. Here is Baja. Oh, he broke a tackle, and he's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver! Skeeter Baja with the exclamation point. And Denver is flying high to their second consecutive SFL semifinal.
I don't think Baja got the memo there. You're supposed to stop. I'm a ticket in myself. I haven't. And he got into the end zone and put some points up on the board himself.
Oh, man. I mean, of all the people that I expected to score a touchdown today, I would have put Skeeter Baja pretty low on that tier list. But number 29 has proved me wrong. The extra point is up and through. It is 34-7 as the Denver Nightwings hammer home the final nail in the Houston Hyena hype train's coffin. And the last minute and 27 will tick off the clock here with Houston having the football. People are saying Nighthawks in the chat. Did I accidentally say Nighthawks? If I did, I apologize. That was not my intent. Nightwings are going to the SFL semifinals. And remember, they are the beaten finalists from last year looking to make amends for their only 2-point loss in a fantastic championship game to the Alaska Storm. And I think I said it right at the beginning of the broadcast, but the only team that Denver has lost to, that pass is incomplete, intended to go out for Murray. The only team that Denver has lost to in the last 2 seasons is Alaska. They're 13-0 against the rest of the Simulation Football League, and guess who's not in the playoffs anymore? Alaska is out. They got beat by Seattle last night. So in theory, Denver is now your favorites to win the championship, or is my logic, out the window, Levant? Do you also put Denver as the favorite to win?
Nah, I put Seattle as the favorite to win, actually.
Really? Seattle's
Yes.
a dangerous team. Well, they are 9/10 of a Dallas team that also went to the semifinals last year, as that pass over the middle is caught by Clint Wiggins, as Houston will try and go up-tempo here with a minute to go and only 1 timeout.
I just got to spice it up a little bit, that's all.
All the teams left in it have a really good chance to win. And you look at Seattle as the 3 seed. Baltimore is the 2 seed, play tonight against Atlanta. And a pass over the middle again is caught. That time all the way down the field to Leroy Brown. They're into Denver territory. Only 41 seconds to go. And another pass over the middle almost gets a first down. But as we wrap up this game, it's really been Denver domination as Kentez Johnson fires down the field, almost intercepted as the pass is broken up by Raul Duke. It's been Denver domination from the word go, especially on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, they've just really been getting at the quarterback. They've been really forcing him into some bad throws. They've been taking the balls away. You know, Warren had a fumble. That's not something that you see very often out of him, and that's really why they've been able to score tonight.
Over the middle, incomplete, penalty flag flies. Could we see a second pass interference in one game in the simulation football league? I don't think I've ever called a game with 2 pass interference, and we will see it. This time against Denver.
Well, once again, you get a little hand. Gonna happen. If they see it, they're gonna call it. When there's way too many defenders in the area to clearly see who done it, they're probably gonna still call it on someone.
First and 10 from your all-pros 30-yard line.
Denver Nightwings in the chat. That's Jeremy Vega still claiming that they pitched a shutout. I don't think the stats support that claim, Jeremy, but you can continue to think that. Here is Johnson going long, knocked away, as it's now just 15 seconds to go in the ball game. Anything that comes down in bounds will effectively end the game, although Houston still has 1 timeout left. Not sure that DR Sim, Devon Simeon, will choose to use it.
10, ball at the 30-yard line.
At this point, they're just probably ready to just head back home to Houston, worry about what's going to happen with the restructuring next season.
Johnson over the middle and deep. It's caught inside the 10-yard line. Houston does, in fact, choose to use their final timeout, maybe make the score look a little more respectable here, as it is currently 34-7 with under 10 seconds to play in the ball game. Nice catch by Leroy Brown, but he was miles away from any defender.
Yeah, the defender just sagged away from, kept to his zonal assignment, not decide to trail with the receiver and just let him go. That sometimes you just got to see there's no one behind you. Might as well go with the receiver sometimes and break from your assignment.
Johnson, plenty of time over the middle, diving for the incompletion is Ellis Duncan, who got burned on the only touchdown for Houston earlier in this quarter. 7 seconds to go, 2nd and goal. And don't forget that coming up tonight, the final quarterfinal, it's the Atlanta Swarm heading up the East Coast to Baltimore, Maryland to take on the Baltimore Vultures live from Maryland. Don't want to miss that matchup. Johnson looking, throwing, Cup for the touchdown. Leroy Brown has a little bit of a respectable score line now. Houston will score 2 touchdowns as Leroy Brown gets on the board.
This is my main concern with having brought in the backups when you're only ahead by like score, is that I just feel like that, you know, that most starting units in this league have the capability of scoring on second units. That's just, you know, that makes quite a bit of sense. And it's not like it wasn't a risk. I just felt it wasn't right to do.
Matthew Flynn puts the extra point up and good. 2 seconds to go in the ball game. Denver 34, Houston 14. And despite what happened on the field today, take nothing away from the momentous back half of the season that the Houston Hyenas have had. The first team under 500 to make the playoffs in a long time. The first 10 seed to ever win a playoff game. They have come so far from the 2-7 team that was in the middle of the season. They actually recovered the onside kick with 1 second to go. But they have had a legendary run. But today was Denver's day on the field.
It just proved too much for them. And, you know, they've had issues offensive most of those games. To be quite fair with you, it was defense that led the way in a lot of those matchups. And this time, they needed a lot more help from that offense, and they just still couldn't get anything going.
1 play left, 1 second left in the Houston Hyenas season, and it's Hail Mary formation time. for Kentez Johnson. Johnson, plenty of time, lobs a long rainbow pass down the field. It's intercepted, and the Denver Nightwings are headed to the semifinals for the second straight season and looking to go to a championship game. That is it from Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium. Your final score: the Denver Nightwings 34, the Houston Hyenas 14. As you take a look at the stats and highlights scrolling across your screen, final thoughts from Levant Mercer, and also, who do you think is your player of the game?
Well, so far they just the Denver Nightwings had this game completely under control from the, well, as you said, and it was the big play potential of their offense that led the way. They did respect that defense. They went with a more conservative style of play, but it ended up not really mattering because two big plays by McChesney and long touchdown by Keel really broke open the scoring and gave them more confidence in this game. And truly, it was the turnover that really killed Houston. They weren't really truly able to get much going on offense, and that's big play just got stifled. That's truly what the difference was today. And if there was anyone I should give player of the game to, I'm really torn to whether I give it to Josh Miller or I give it to Jared McChesney. At the same time, I want to give it to Keel, so I'll probably give it to the quarterback. But we'll see what's decided upon.
And that'll do it from us here in Denver, and also do it for Levant and myself in the broadcast booth for the season. As always, when a season comes to an end for us here in the broadcast booth, I want to say a gigantic thank you to Cameron Irvine, Mike Gaggs, Andy Hamilton, and everybody else at the Simulation Football League for letting us broadcast these games and bring SFL action to you season after season. I have now been with the Simulation Football League for 3 years. Levant, about the same time. The MVP of the game is Jared McChesney, as he has a 2-touchdown performance to lead the Denver Nightwings to the semifinals. Your final score: Denver 34, Houston 14. Stick around for the other semifinal later tonight, and we'll see you next time in the Simulation Football League.
See you there.